Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we'll be local nursery plant shopping at Callaway's Nursery in Prosper, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And also give me a follow on my Instagram at Growfolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the plant or anything related to my YouTube channel. You can see it is a late afternoon. I just got off of work not too long ago, so I decided to drive over here and see what plants they have at Callaway. So for those that are not familiar of Callaway's local nursery, it is a chain of Dallas-Fort Worth area plant nursery. So there are many Callaway's nurseries throughout the DFW area. I am based out in North Dallas, and so this is one of my favorite ones to go to because it's super organized, and you can even see that they are already getting into the fall holiday spirit. So we're going to see what plants we have available. I know that I've been doing a lot of big box store plant shopping videos, but I figured I would go back to some local nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie, and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. So you can see right over here, plant foldies. I'm going to go ahead and walk around here and show you what plants they have at this local nursery. A couple of things I will say about Callaway's nursery. I've been shopping at several locations for plants for the last 6 or 7 years that I've been out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Callaway's nursery, although it is a chain of nurseries, is still a really good local nursery go plant shopping for. So if you're looking for indoor tropical plants, outdoor gardening plants, landscaping plants, herbs, vegetables, and succulents and cactus, this is the place to go to. And you can see right here, fall season is signified by the appearance of Croton plants. So Croton Picasso, very interesting hybrid because it has very stringy leaves, and you can see right here lots of chrysanthemums or mums. I love the dome shape of chrysanthemums, and you can see that these are just starting to bloom. It hasn't peaked out yet, and my recommendation for anybody that wants to grow mums is to buy them around this state where they're not fully bloomed. Otherwise the blooms are gonna be spent quickly. And the good thing about chrysanthemums is throughout the fall season, there are an abundance of chrysanthemums that you can find, and you can see right over here, this one is starting to bloom. I love the look of chrysanthemums, and what's cool about chrysanthemums are they are actually considered perennials. So for those that don't know what perennials are, these are basically plants that if you plant them in a landscape or in the ground, and depending on your grow zone, so from my grow zone, it is 8B, it will be a perennial, meaning that this plant will die off in the winter, but come back during the grow season. So it will come back year after year. We love perennials, or at least I do, because then you are actually saving money without having to go ahead and buy a plant to replant year after year. So you can see over here, we've got a lot of chrysanthemums available. Now with chrysanthemums, a lot of people will grow them as patio plants. You can grow them in your landscape. I would say if they are going to be considered a perennial, once the blooms are spent, once the foliage is starting to really just die off, I would cut it back down to the base and let it just overwinter, and then in the spring, summertime, it will pop back up. So we're going to go ahead and continue to look at some of these plants. So one thing I did want to go ahead and highlight are the Croton plants that we have available right over here. You can see that this one is the Croton Picasso, and look at how interesting this is. It almost looks like an ornamental grass. It is a hybrid Croton, and you can see the price is for $9.99 for a 4-inch Croton Picasso. So many different hybrids, and I know the trending Croton plant right now is the Croton Rose. I would like to get a hold of that, but you know, more of the exotic rare Crotons are still making itself to the United States. Now, if you were to go to Southeast Asia, such as the Philippines, which is where my family is originally from, Crotons grow rampant. They are just full-blown trees. They easily grow. You can see right here, this is the Croton Sloppy Painter, and it does look like a sloppy painter because look at the yellow splashes of color all around this croton. Crotons do need to be in a lot of light. They honestly prefer to be in direct full sun. They like warmer weather and humidity, which is always baffling for me, because I say this in all of my videos whenever I feature crotons. Crotons typically make their appearance during the fall season. Now, I would say for the most part, they are grown as an annual plant in the United States. I don't really see a lot of people trying to grow crotons as a actual plant that they would keep long term. I've even seen some social media posts where people are saying add, fall color by planting crotons, where people are literally planting crotons in their landscape. Unless you live in an area like Florida, that is not going to work. It definitely will die off in the winter, because these plants do not like cold weather. They are coming from areas with high humidity levels and a lot of light. And so for me, it's just interesting the amount of energy that is placed into growing crotons for it only to be an annual plant. And I mean, look at how beautiful this is. So I'm just going to continue to pick up these plants and show you the gorgeous colors of them. Now, a lot of people either love crotons or hate them. I mean, there's not really a middle ground. Plant foldies, as you already know, I love that open dialogue. So if you want to just leave your insights and comments in the comment section, please do that. And I did want to also point out the fact that YouTube recently posted a new feature where when you press the thumbs up or like button for this video, so if you haven't already, I mean, we've already gotten into the video, please do so. Once you press the thumbs up or like button for this video, you will have an option to hype up this video. Now, for a small YouTube content creator like myself, those hypes on the video give it points to where the algorithm can potentially push it out to more plant lovers like yourself. We are about 40 more subscribers to reaching 13,000 plant foldies, and I would just love to continue to grow. So please help me by pressing the hype button after you've actually pressed the like button. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the most common croton, which is the Croton petra. You can see that the variety of colors found in a Croton petra really depends on just the lighting and just the overall genetics of the plant. I would say if you are able to grow these outdoors and consistently keep this plant moist, it will grow for you. I mean, you can see right here, look at that. It is already root bound. It is screaming to be repotted. And these plants, whenever I was actually on vacation in the Philippines back in 2024, I remember seeing these plants get up to like 15 to 20 feet in height, and it was just phenomenal. So I hope you guys will consider growing crotons, and I'm just going to continue to walk around here and show you all of the plants that they have. Hopefully you enjoyed the local nursery plant shopping video. I would call this the big box or plant shopping alternative, and that is to shop local, that is to shop small businesses, that is to shop, local vendors and people that just love to sell plants on the side. But Callaway's Nursery, I absolutely love Callaway's Nursery, and I absolutely love this particular location. The manager, Chris, does an amazing job. So if you're ever out in the North Dallas area, specifically Prosper, Texas, definitely check out this Callaway's Nursery and let me know what you think. Plant foldies, you'll see that I am just going to be showing some of the outdoor plants, but have no fear, we will be walking to the indoor tropical plants because they have quite a bit of a selection. But as you can see right here, we have another interesting type of Croton plant. This one has more narrow leaves. It's another type of hybrid, and I would love to have a collection of Crotons. But you know, for me, just thinking about what I'm going to be doing when winter comes, we do get very cold winters out in the North Dallas area, which is where I'm based at. So I'm trying to figure out how am I going to overwinterize a lot of my plants. I have a lot of my Aglaonema and lots of my indoor tropical plants growing outdoors in a shaded patio. I just find that the plant care is so much easier to do when you are actually growing your plants outdoors, because then you can take a hose and just water them that way. But as you can see right here, they do have a selection of succulents and cactus. So I'm just going to go ahead and just pan around here and show you what selection that they have. If you are looking for cost-effective plants, you can also shop at Callaways. Their plant pricing is just as competitive, if not better, than some of the big box stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, and Target. So definitely consider going to Callaway's Nursery if you are going to visit the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'm just going to show more of these starters of succulents and cactus. You can see right here, this is a Callaway. I love the velvety texture on the leaves. And you know, with a lot of these succulents and cactus, rule of thumb is they do prefer a lot of light, not necessarily full sun, and not necessarily hot weather. So that's one thing I learned about cactus and succulents is it's not necessarily a hot environment that they want to be in. It's just that they want to have that bright light. Some succulents actually don't do well in very hot environments. So, you know, it's a learning process for me. So if you are somebody that grows succulents and cactus, feel free to leave in the comment section your plant care tips, because this community is definitely a very interactive community. I do appreciate each and every single plant foldie that tunes in, gives me their time of day to watch my videos. I've been really inspired to just continue to make plant shopping videos, because if you find value in them, then I will continue to just create this type of content. And now, plant foldies, we're gonna go walk around here and look at some of these indoor tropical plants in just a second, because I still want to show you some more of these succulents and cactus, and then we're gonna go and look at the indoor tropical plants. Now, plant foldies, you've seen some of the succulent and cactus selections that they have. We are now going to be looking at these gorgeous indoor tropical house plants. So this is actually one of their plants that they don't necessarily have for sale. This is a gorgeous Monstera Thai constellation, and what's really interesting is this Monstera Thai constellation has been growing in their care for about 2 to 3 years, and they've gotten it to be more mature. It started out as a 6-inch planter, and obviously it was potted up and it is growing wildly. I love the variegation of this Monstera Thai constellation. I just feel like the variegation on this one is highly variegated, and with Monstera Thai constellations, they used to be very much uncommon plants. Now they're a little bit more readily available, whether you go to like a local nursery like Callaways Nursery, or you go to a big box store like Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, Walmart. You can find them, but not in these types of sizes. And I wanted to show y'all this. So this is a mature Epipremnum pinnatum. Now this is a reverted yellow flame, so it doesn't have like the Hoya variegation, but look at how beautiful this is. So most of the time you will see like Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue, where it's like in a hanging basket, but this is what the leaves look like when you allow it to grow on some type of support. This is what it looks like in its native environment. You can see that it's gotten a thicker trunk, and I mean, just look at how stunning this is. I love the fenestrations on the leaf, and look, I have never seen an Epipremnum pinnatum in bloom. I didn't even know that pothos can actually bloom, and when I was talking to the manager, Chris, he mentioned that he wasn't even sure why it bloomed because it's very rare to even see that. I mean, I don't know if anybody else knows if Epipremnum pinnatum actually bloom. Please, please, please leave in the comment section if you have heard of it blooming, because I can't believe that this particular plant bloomed, and also it is not in the in a tropical environment. It's in you know, Prosper, Texas of all places. But I love the fact that they've allowed this plant to mature and grow. Obviously it's growing up the other way, so it's going to need to attach to the pole, otherwise it's going to get smaller leaves. That's the thing about Epipremnum pinnatum. I love them. They're very much endemic to my family's home country, the Philippines. These literally grow onto trees. They literally are weeds, but it's interesting that in the United States, they are sold as an indoor tropical plant. What a beautiful stunner. And just look at the leaves, and I'm just going to show you this bloom as well. Foldies, what do you think of that Epipremnum pinnatum mature form? Because we've got even more plants to look at. So you can see right here, we've got a Pachira aquatica, also known as the money tree. And that's the thing about Callaway's Nursery. You can see right here, $24.99 is how much this one costs. I am looking for a variegated form at some point, and we're going to be highlighting some of the other plants that they have here, specifically the Aglaonema. But before we get into that, we've got a Ficus lyrata right over here. Let's look at the price, $19.99. I ended up finding one for $10 at Home Depot, and that's the reason why it's important to compare and contrast the plant pricing. And now we're going to look at these large green form Aglaonema. So I didn't intend to try to buy an Aglaonema today, but you can see right here, Aglaonema Calypso Supreme. This one is a beautiful green form Aglaonema. And if you look at the just the striping and colors of this particular Aglaonema, it's got a different look to it. It's got a darker green foliage, almost like a bluish tone. And it looks like it has about 3 different types of colors. I am really considering getting this one because it's nice and full, lush, and I am collecting a lot of these larger form Aglaonema. I'm trying to decorate my entryway with a bunch of these, so whenever I do my houseplant tour, you will see that I've got some large Aglaonema. Let me know what you think about this particular Aglaonema. This one is for $59.99 in a 10-gallon planter. So For me, it's one of those situations where I wouldn't mind getting this because it is an Aglaonema. For these green forms, they can tolerate lower light conditions and they're a little bit more drought tolerant. And I just love the fact that this is a really full and lush Aglaonema with many plants already. I'm going to go ahead and continue to just show you some more of the Aglaonema they have available at this Callaways nursery. And you'll notice that the Aglaonema and just the plants actually out in Callaways just has a really nice, healthy, lush, and full pot. Aglaonema mi primo. This one is $59.99. This is the Chinese evergreen stars of India Aglaonema. So I don't know what that means, if these are Indian type hybrids, not 100% sure, but the Aglaonema mi primo is actually one that looks almost like a BJ Friedman. It has subtle green colored leaves as well. So this one has 3 colors, green colors, a dark green and 2 minty green on green colors. That is another one I would want to get. That is another green Aglaonema I don't have, and again, it's super lush and full. And for the price of $59.99, I would hope that I could get it for a lower price, like $49.99, but I don't mind spending $60 for a large form Aglaonema. And this is the Aglaonema I'm probably going to end up getting. This one is the Aglaonema lumina, and this one, this lumina Aglaonema, the reason why I want to get it is it almost reminds me of a low color version of a Aglaonema Snow Dream, or Spring Snow. This one is for $59.99. It is part of the Stars of India Aglaonema collection. And what I like about this particular Aglaonema lumina, and the reason why I want to buy it, is it has a rounder leaf shape. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the Snow Spring Aglaonema, it's wider, but this one has wider, rounder form leaves. It's super full. I haven't seen this one, and so this is the one I'm going to end up getting today. I would like to get the other 2 green forms, so obviously it's out of my budget. I don't want to spend $120 on 3 plants today that I didn't even intend on spending. But as you can see right here, beautiful green Aglaonema. And I know that I've been showing a lot of the colorful Aglaonema that I get from overseas, but the green forms, which are prevalent in the United States, are still ones that I would recommend. These are also known as the Chinese evergreen plants. So if you don't have one already, this one is for $24.99. Aglaonema Juliet. The Aglaonema Romeo, you can tell, is going to be the same pattern, but instead of having narrow, smaller leaves, it's going to have wider, narrow leaves like this. I would like to get another Aglaonema Juliet at some point. The green varieties are amazing, and these are probably the easiest plants you can put in your plant collection. And then obviously Aglaonema Red Siam. This one is also for $24.99. Look at how beautiful and lush and large the leaves are on this particular one. Now with this Aglaonema, if you give it a little bit more bright indirect light, it should push out red margins or borders, but that's not always guaranteed. I would just say that the more coloration you want, though, you want to try to get that bright indirect light or as much of it as possible. So as far as the Aglaonema collection at Callaways, while these are more of the common varieties, I would say the green jumbo ones are going to be the highlight of what you can find at this Callaways location. I am definitely going to get the Aglaonema Lumina, which means that I'm going to have to tighten up my budget just a little bit because I was not expecting to spend $60 today. And I always mention ways to save money on plants, and really that's to prevent yourself from actually doing impulse buys. But unfortunately, when you go big box store plant shopping alternative, which means going to a local nursery like Callaways, sometimes you don't intend to have an impulse buy and it just happens. And that's the reason why we have impulse buys. Plant foldies, leave in the comment section if you've ever just intended to look at plants, but then you end up spending money and have an impulse buy. What type of plants do you end up doing an impulse buy for? For me, it's always going to be Aglaonema. They are so tempting to buy because I just absolutely adore them. I love them. I really hope that more people will popularize Aglaonema. So again, if you have Aglaonema that you post on your social medias, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, any of these social media platforms, use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema. So again, plant foldies, I'm going to go ahead and continue to walk around and show you this beautiful nursery. Feel free to listen to the relaxing music soundtrack. Again, it is by my friend Jordan, and let me know what you think about the music, the track, the plants, and if you have any questions, leave that in the comment section below. really wish that calatheas were just not as challenging of a plant to grow indoors long term, because if you look at how beautiful the leaves are, I just love the colors of the leaves. I love how it dances with the light. I love the undersides of calathea. But for me, I have sent so many calathea to Plant Heaven that it's one of those situations where I know better than to buy them. But I mean, $24.99. I mean, look at how beautiful this calathea is. And if somebody has figured out how to grow calathea successfully, I would love a detailed insights commentary on growing calatheas. I know somebody out there has been able to grow calatheas long term indoors. I know a YouTuber on in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Aloha Plants Drea, is able to grow these calatheas. I'm gonna need to connect with her and just ask like what specifically she does to grow them, because I'm just not able to grow them. But what I am gonna tell you is if I pan away here and show you how beautiful the plants are, you can see that, you know, Callaway's Nursery has many different sizes of plants. So you can see this is the Philodendron Rare Collection series. So this is the Philodendron Heart Leaf. This one is for $29.99. I do think that that is slightly overpriced considering that you can find plants at a lesser price. This one is a Philodendron Ring of Fire starter plant for $12.99. And then we have a bunch of these ficus ginseng, actually not ficus, sorry, ficus tiger bark bonsai, and you can see that it's got that that traditional curve that you can find. Now again, with these ficus bonsai, I will say that being an affiliate for the Bonsai Supply, I would really like to encourage everybody to consider going to the bonsaisupply.com and purchasing some bonsai soil, or use any of the bonsai supply that they have available. Please use my promo code GROWFOLDS for 10% off your entire purchase. So, you know, bonsai is another one of the ways of growing plants that I love. It's something that I've been doing even when I was a kid. I would love to encourage more people to be open to the art of bonsai. Now over here, I'm picking up chrysanthemum. Those are really nice looking plants as well. I love the colors. And then over here, we've got a bunch of sansevieria, or what you call snake plants, many different varieties. And you know, when you think about easy care plants, beginner friendly plants, these are the sansevieria or snake plant that I would recommend. They are definitely drought tolerant. They actually prefer to be more on the drier side. They are low light tolerant. But again, whenever a plant is low light tolerant, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to put it in a a lower light setting. Truthfully, if you're able to still provide bright indirect light, that is best, because it is going to encourage faster growth, or at least better growth as compared to somebody that puts these in lower light settings. So I just want to put it out there that these sansevieria are plants that are definitely easy care. It's one that I would recommend. And as far as the pricing of this, you can see this one is for $19.99. Love the borders of this. This almost reminds me of a bromeliad samurai, minus the sharp thorns that the bromeliad samurai has on its leaves. Again, I actually collect sansevieria as well because I enjoy the easy care plants, and these are the ones that I ended up getting a little while back. These ones are for $6.99. So if you want just a small starter sansevieria, one that you can put on your desktop, one that you can use for home decor because it is so low light tolerant and drought tolerant, use a sansevieria. Grow those in, and then you can see right here, huge Monstera deliciosa, and they've been growing this one for a good 5 years in store. This started out as a 6-inch Monstera deliciosa planter, and clearly this one has blown up. This is what it looks like when it is allowed to grow wild and freely and attach onto something. I am a huge fan of Dracaena, as well as anything that is neon colored as far as a plant. Beautiful Dracaena Limelight right here. Those are the jumbo forms, and you'll see that Callaways Nursery, a local plant nursery out in Prosper, Texas, has all of these easy care, beginner friendly plants. These are also budget friendly plants, ones that I would recommend, especially if you have lower light settings. You can get all of these right here, and I'm just going to continue to walk past all of these jumbo plants. Definitely let me know in the comment section what you think, if you would actually consider growing a Dracaena, because look at how large these Dracaena can get. Oftentimes we'll go to a big box store and go big box store plant shopping and see these in like 3-inch planters or 5-inch planters, but you can see that they can get into large sizes, which again, if you just want to get a large size plant for instant gratification, you can go ahead and go to a local nursery. Typically Callaways will offer more of the larger size plants. Oh, look at this philodendron orange marmalade. This one I've never seen be this tall. I mean, look at this. It almost feels like you are in a jungle. I love the fact that the manager, Chris, has really pushed to grow a lot of these plants to its maturity. Super cool, because they do have pretty good ideal environments in this location. Gets a lot of light, and I mean, just look at this. All of the plants that they have at Callaways Nursery. So for my local plant foldies that live out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, let me know if you actually go shopping at Callaways. I know that I source out a lot of my plants as well, and you can see that this is that Monstera Thai constellation that we were looking at earlier. They're doing some more arrangements, but I did want to show you the variegation. Look at this one right here. When I first noticed this particular one has a lot more variegation, and with Monstera Thai constellation, it really does vary on the amount of variegation the plant has. Most of it has to do with the initial genetics, but I would also say light influences. And then look at this Syngonium right here. This is a super lush and full Syngonium. This is a Syngonium holly. Now with the Syngonium holly, if you wanted to get that light tone on its leaves, you do want to give it a lot of bright indirect light. Otherwise, it's going to give you more of a greenish tone. But look at that. That is such a nice little gray tone. And then we also have a bunch of these anthuriums. So these anthuriums have been growing at this Callaways Nursery for a while. This one I believe is for $69.99. These are anthuriums that are growing in sphagnum moss in a crate. And yes, this is a beautiful anthurium. So again, you know, with anthuriums, I'm not as versed with anthuriums, but I will say, if you are watching my YouTube channel, if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, hopefully you are. And I hope that you actually switch your YouTube channel subscription with me to where you turn on all notifications. Just know that I have a very special houseplant tour where it is going to feature somebody's extensive anthurium collection that is in the works for in the next 3 weeks. I will have that. So for anthurium hybrid lovers, you don't want to miss this. And you also don't want to miss looking at these beautiful monsteras at Callaways. This particular location, again, is really a beautiful location to go to because they keep their plants super organized, and I just really love how friendly the staff is. This is one that is I often frequent, and it's because of the organization that they have. So I'm going to go ahead again, Plantfoldies, and just pick up some plants here. I hope you guys are enjoying this type of content where I will just give you guys commentary, but also just walk around as if we were just walking around together to go plant shopping. And I do hope that the new music that's specifically created for this YouTube channel bodes well for you in terms of just relaxation. I really am going for like a classic musical vibe with lo-fi beats to give it more of like a modern contemporary vibe. So I would love your insights on that, and I would also love your insights on just all of the more uncommon and rare philodendron that you find at big box stores or local nurseries, where they used to be super expensive and now they are becoming a little bit more cost effective. Like I said again, commentary in the comment section really excite me and make me happy because I love to respond to the community that watches my plant shopping videos. Always tell when plants are living their best life, whether it's at a big box store or a local nursery. I mean, take a look at this philodendron white princess. I do love the philodendron white princess. You can see that it's already putting out a lot of new growth. This particular philodendron is one that needs to climb, and I like the philodendron white princess because if you look at the stems and petioles, it has pink margins or pink borders around it along with the white and green stems. That's how you can tell a philodendron white princess. A philodendron white knight is one that has maroon stems and petioles. And a philodendron white wizard is one that has just green stems with white variegation and white margins. Now this one is a philodendron pink princess. This one isn't the highly variegated one. There's a philodendron pink princess galaxy that they have. And then you can see right over on this side, we have a bunch of monstera. So this is the monstera adansonii, but this one is the narrow form. So they have the narrow form monstera adansonii, and then we also have a monstera Thai constellation here. This one isn't as highly variegated as the one I shown you earlier in the video, but otherwise they still have quite a bit of monsteras. I do like the fact that they try to organize a lot of the plants based on plant genus and species, which I really appreciate for this Callaways nursery. Welcome fall it is, because whenever you see pumpkins, when you see croton plants, when you see mums, that signifies the fall season, at least in the United States. And you know, fall, I love the fall season because I love how the leaves change. I will be doing some content featuring Japanese maples, because on the flip side of, you know, really admiring indoor tropical plants, aroids, if you're an aroid collector, I also love the forms of bonsai and a lot of bonsai is actually grown with using Japanese maples, or what you call Acer palmatum. So stay tuned to me visiting one of my favorite Japanese maple farms, which is called Metro Maples out in Fort Worth, Texas. It's run by my friend Scott Hubble, and it really does have cost-effective Japanese maples. So if you're into Acer palmatum or Japanese maples, bonsai plants, azaleas, Japanese gardens, know that that's also going to be some content that I will be uploading as well to the YouTube channel. But as you can see right here, this is the one philodendron white princess that I would buy, just because look at that variegation, gorgeous. And it also has a really good growth pattern already. You can see we do have some philodendron Florida Ghost. I have one that's even more ghostly than that one. You know, the Philodendron Florida Ghost, if you give it a lot of bright indirect light, the newer leaves will come out more of a ghostly pale tone. And then you can see Philodendron Snowdrift. The thing about Philodendron Snowdrift, what I've realized is in order for you to really maintain that lighter color, you have to give it lots of bright indirect light. Otherwise, it's going to revert back to more of a greenish tone. Now, I'm going to continue to just walk around here and show you some more of their plants. It's going to delve more into the outdoor plants again, and I'm going to get back to the indoor tropical plants. I just wanted to show you how large this nursery is and why going big box store plant shopping is fun, but also going local nursery plant shopping can even be more fun because they have a larger selection of plants. So you can see over here, we've got a bunch of Hedera helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera helix. This is the English ivy. So we've got several different types of English ivy right over here. I like that they have many forms of English ivy, but again, to try to grow these indoors long term is going to be very challenging. I actually encourage the Plantfoldy community. So in case you haven't seen the community tab, I have opened it to where anybody that is a subscriber for this YouTube channel can post appropriate content for the community tab. I would love to see your plants. I would love to see your Hedera helix. This isn't a Hedera helix. This is actually a Hedera Algerian ivy, and that one right over here is one ivy that I would want to grow because I do love that variegation on it. I've tried to grow it before, but just like the English ivy, the Algerian ivy is also very much so spider mite prone. I do like the large rounder leaves. I love the sectoral variegation that it has, and these ones are for $9.99. So if you want to grow Hedera helix, you can go to Callaway's Nursery and go plant shopping here. Again, it is cost effective, and you notice that the Algerian ivy, when it is sun stressed or receives more light than it really needs, it will actually give you pink coloration as well, which I think is really cool. And then we're just going to continue to go walk around here. Feel free to leave in the comment section if you actually grow English ivy. And again, I have been encouraging everybody to post on the community tab. Shout out to all of the Plantfoldies that have already posted their pictures on the community tab. I would love to see your plants. I would love to just see an open dialogue as well on the community tab. Now over here, we've got different types of Tradescanthia. I really love the look of these Tradescanthia right here. This one is the Sabrina Tradescanthia, and we have the Tradescanthia Nanook right over here. I actually have some Tradescanthia Nanook that I successfully propagated. This one is in a 6-inch planter for $12.99, and honestly, that is a really good deal considering the leaves are already large. So if you're into pink plants, if you're into something like this, this is a very easy plant. It's definitely a very versatile plant. You can grow this outdoors in full sun, which is what I grow them. Some people will say that you should not be growing that in full sun, but for some reason, mine is living its best life. One thing I will say about growing plants in a lot of light is it's going to need more water because it is photosynthesizing and just really growing at a faster rate. So you want to make sure that you're consistent with the watering. But this right here is another beautiful pink plant. Let's go buy ourselves a Tradescanthia Nanook. And you can just see beautiful organization. I do like to come over to this local nursery and film when it is late afternoon because there's not as much foot traffic, but needless to say, there are so many plants to pick from. So let's continue to walk around and see what they have available. Look at that spider plant. You can see that it shot out a little bit of babies that you can just chop and propagate from, separate from the mother plant and stick into soil, and you have a brand new spider plant. So what else do we have over here, plant foldies? So we're going to be looking at these herbs, and what's interesting about these herbs are they actually have more of the unique varieties. For instance, we've got some variegated versions of herbs. This one is a variegated mint, and as tempting as it is to grow mint, do not put mint in your landscape in the ground because it is a very invasive plant. They're very challenging to remove. And then right over here we have a variegated sage tricolor. Now this one I was really tempted to purchase, but in terms of growing this plant, it does need full sun. I was thinking of trying to grow this indoors, but it would be very challenging to grow unless I am growing it under a grow light. Needless to say, what a beautiful variegated plant. I really love the velvety texture of the leaves, and that again shows that I have a very eclectic taste when it's growing different types of plants. You know, some people are into gardening, and specifically gardening for vegetables and herbs. Some people are into like gardens, like flower beds, flowers, and some people are really into landscape. So, you know, with Callaway's nursery being a very extensive nursery that, you know, carries many different types of plants, you'll see that we have a bunch of coleus, for instance. I love coleus plants. I actually have one that I've been growing long term outdoors, and it's doing very well. I do plan on overwinterizing it to where I want to grow it and see if I can grow it long-term indoors. But look at how beautiful this one is. This is a coleus perla, and that one is available for $16.99. Again, coleus plants are not really considered plants that people would grow indoors, although I would say in Europe these are very popular to grow indoors. And you know, for me, it's all about just promoting the plant. I think when people start to see a certain plant being grown, or there's a trend for it, more and more people start to just grow it in their plant collections. I would say that a lot more so with plants that are easily hybridized. So whenever you're able to grow a plant and you're able to like cross-pollinate it, hybridize it to where you can get your own variety, I think that that's what causes a plant to be a little bit more popular. Hence the the surge of all of the people that love anthuriums. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely find anthuriums stunning, but I do think that there are certain plants that are not as popular because not a lot of people are talking about them over social media. Like for instance, this is a sun coleus. Look at the coloration of this plant. It's so stunning. And yes, you can grow coleus indoors long term. You can even grow them in a tree form where their stems actually mature to be more of a bark-like form. Again, these are plants that you can grow indoors, and I just want to make sure that the plant folding community knows that. I mean, these are only for $6.99. So if you're looking for something that is going to give you color, if you're looking for something that's going to be a fast grower, easy to propagate, beginner friendly, budget friendly, you can get a coleus plant. I mean, look at this coleus electric lime, for instance. Look at the beautiful veining. What I love about these coleus is that they are so easy to propagate, and I would hope that people would consider growing these plants. I think they're a little bit more unique. I would even say for one of my favorite content creators ever on YouTube, Benji Plants. Now, you don't even need me to promote Benji Plants. He is known by a lot of people. I would think that he would be into something that's a little bit unique like that, you know, growing plants that a lot of people may not necessarily consider growing indoors. That's something that I want to also delve in. Now, over here, these caladiums are 75% off. And I know the reason why these go on sale is because caladiums do end up going dormant. I am curious to see if anybody else is going to attempt to grow caladiums indoors. Now, if you haven't seen my best friend's house plant tour, Isaac, he was able to grow a caladium indoors long term. So definitely check that out. And I am excited to announce that I will be doing a lot of house plant tours, including myself. If you actually are a plant foldy, you will get access to my house plant tour. But let's go ahead and just continue to pick up some plants. So this one is a pesto basil type plant. This is a variegated basil, and I may go back to this Callaway's nursery and see if these variegated plants actually end up going on sale, because if they go on sale, I may end up just buying them to see if I could grow them long terms indoors. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these variegated herbs. I think it's pretty cool. I just don't know if I would be able to grow them long term indoors. Plant foldies, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the remainder of the plants that I wanted to feature in this local nursery plant shopping video. You can see we've got Hoya. So for my Hoya heads, let me know what you think. And they do have the starter ones. This one is a Hoya Wyetii. This one is another beautiful Hoya. I love the margins of the leaves are already sun stressed, so it does have a dark purple tone on the edges of the leaves. And then we have a bunch of starter Hoyas. These ones right here are only for $9.99. This is a Hoya Lisa, beautiful variegation, such a stunning plant, and we have more available. So if you are a Hoya plant fan, definitely consider getting these starter Hoyas. They are pretty, cost effective. So if you love Hoyas, I'm getting into them. These are available. I think I would get into Hoyas even more so if I'm able to actually get my Hoyas to bloom. They have yet to bloom for me, but I heard that if you actually fertilize them with some bloom booster, that would actually grow. But let's go ahead and just continue to walk around, pick up some plants. I'm also going to show you some pothos plants and enjoy the track that is currently playing. This one is titled Unfurl. Houseplant, and this is called the Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Now this one is for $9.99. What I do love about the pothos table or the pothos that they feature at Callaways is that they're super lush, they're super full. Now these ones right over here are for $29.99. We've got the neon pothos, which is my favorite pothos, and these hanging baskets are super lush and full as well. I have been really enjoying my pothos. What I like to do is grow them outdoors in a shaded area, and I'm able to get them to grow a lot faster because they are getting a lot of bright light, they're getting fresh air, they're getting watered consistently. And I actually have invested in using Miracle-Gro fertilizer for the garden. I use the hose where it mixes the fertilizer, and I've honestly been watering and fertilizing my plants at least every other day heavily. Obviously I don't use the maximum strength solution for it, but I've noticed that it doesn't actually hurt the plants that I have growing. If anything, it's really boosting them. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, on what types of fertilizers you use, if you use more of the organic route or if you use synthetic fertilizers. Over here we've got a beautiful Enjoy pothos. This one is actually one that isn't commonly found in a 6-inch planter. Beautiful one for $19.99, and you can see that is trailing. I need that. I will always love pothos plants because they are so easy to care for. And then you can see right over here we've got a Pearls and Jade pothos. This one is for $29.99. If you are a pothos lover, please let me know in the comment section below. And would you buy this one right here? Because I would. I am trying to collect more of the Japanese pothos. So if you've never heard of the Japanese pothos, those are typically from the Toruno Nursery. That's the Toruno World Series. They're a little bit more expensive, but I have been able to acquire a couple. And then over here we got a Syndapsis. This one is silver satin, although it does look like an exotica. Look at that silver foliage of this particular Syndapsis. So I'm not as big into Syndapsis, but if you want another easy care plant, this one is one I would also recommend. Now, as far as Syndapsis versus pothos plants, if you don't provide Syndapsis more bright indirect light, it will shoot runners. But you can see how gorgeous this arrangement is for pothos. make our final run around this gorgeous nursery. I have just really enjoyed showcasing all of these plants. For me, it is important to also show local businesses, small businesses throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I think it's just important to just diversify the places that you buy your plants. You know, a lot of people have different opinions about whether you should buy big box store plants or just support local and small businesses. I say support all businesses. Go where you are comfortable, go where you can get a really good value for your money, because at the end of the day, plants are quite expensive or can become expensive. So wherever you are able to buy something cost effective, or wherever you feel like supporting, you know, I think that oftentimes people have their opinions, but just know, if you are not purposely hurting anybody, if you are not purposely doing something to where it's going to cause somebody harm, do you be your most authentic self, because I try to live by that day by day. And I really hope that my social media platform encourages others to really be who you are and to just show kindness. And that's really my message for today, in terms of just motivational speaking, or just making sure that we are always going to have good vibes only. Let me know in the comment section if you agree. Comment good vibes only, because on the Grow Folds YouTube channel, that is what we're all about. Good vibes only, showing kindness and making sure that we are here for the plants and for each other. And again, I wasn't really intending on spending money. I'm actually debating on whether I should buy this Aglaonema, but I'm going to go ahead and just say that I'm going to end up buying that Aglaonema lumina. Now, feel free to leave a super sticker or a super thanks if you want to support me through a monetary tip. It does help content creators like myself with the sustainabilities of our channel. Or if you want to join my YouTube membership tier, it is only for the price of a cup of coffee, only $2.99. Please press the join button if you're watching this on a computer, or if you are watching this on your phone using the YouTube app, just go ahead and click on the link that is pinned in the comment section. My name is Richie at Grow Folds. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video today. Please click on the videos that are popping up on the screen, and I will definitely have lots of new content this week. I'm going to actually have time to film on my day off, which is on Tuesday. I'll see you on the next one.